Literaturfabrik and Gallery. Content. Cause and effect, why and therefore. Location and availability. Driving spirit and perspective. Cause and effect, why and therefore. Literaturfabrik and Gallery is an unusual dream that, learning from the cronyism of literature and culture in general, from the vulnerability of poets, writers, painters and sculptors, strives to provide a non-profit forum for those who are dedicated to the spirit of independent thinking. The art world has implicitly committed itself to money through a multitude of market and marketing tricks. In doing so, it distorts, perhaps even denies the connection between the dusty mind of the artist and higher values of the spirit that has somehow ascended to the chariot of God. Thus she endures everyday life in earthly mud, which, as is well known, is a downer. Man would take flight, but if he is not given this opportunity, sooner or later he will end up with broken wings, and artistically perhaps even for life. Oh, how many began their poetic and artistic careers this way.
We cannot publish anything under your name.
It was therefore not about his artistic value, but about the lack of a hinterland, personal connections, or the inability to detect ideological cronyism on his side. We should not deny that behind empathy-based evaluation, appreciation and criticism of art, political, ideological, and financial considerations are often hidden. Is it any wonder, then, that the aesthetically difficult to identify work of one or another writer or painter, despite its worthlessness, rises to the heavens until purifying time plunges it into the abyss of oblivion? The art world is in the iron grip of political and economic considerations. No, it's not always just about value, but also about name, origin, patronage, and sidewaysness. Literaturfabrik and Gallery strives to provide a platform for intellectually independent thoughts and works on a non-profit basis, in contrast to the established corruption in the background. Performances of poets and writers in nightly literary spotlights and temporary exhibitions attempt to give space to the spirit that is not devoted to matter, to mammon, but to truth, to the light. Gate open to the spirit. The Literaturfabrik Gallery is looking for artists, poets, writers, philosophers, painters, sculptors, researchers, etc., who will present their intellectual and artistic treasures and knowledge from the German, English and Hungarian-speaking world in Germany on an independent platform, and want to share their interesting and sometimes shocking experiences, discoveries and life paths in video discussions. It is also pleased to exhibit unknown collections in order to make them accessible to the public and enrich cultural life. Unknown poets and writers, artists, actors and researchers who have crossed the swamp of our time and embarked on an exciting path should be given the opportunity to share their intellectual treasures in a video conversation in a liberated atmosphere of a literary cafe, which will subsequently be available on the website of the Literaturfabrik Gallery. The Literature Factory and Gallery awaits artists who wish to give something spiritual to the public, especially those artists who have not found a spiritual home in our time, well-known and unknown poets and writers driven by a longing to give something, painters and photographers, sculptors and philosophers, astrologers and those who have experienced shocking fates, so that they can find their way to the public. It welcomes people, normality, art lovers, the oppressed and the orphans, the needy, the dreamers and the persecuted. Why should culture fall victim to self-denial, to soul-destroying money? Driving spirit and perspective. The aim of this non-profit private initiative is to give back to society, with selfless humility, something of what a person has received throughout his life, knowing that he can never equal it, even if he wanted to. The unfolding of the undistorted spirit does not wait for fame or blind triumph. That should be left to divine providence.